I'm MC Toon, the second worst rapper in the world. How are you doing tonight? Tonight we've got a flat earth debate with Ryan Wyrick, who is on Facebook and is very, very aggressive and also very, very blocky. He likes to block people because he gets scared and stuff of what they say. He's actually, I think, deleted his account as of today, but he's been responding to me on YouTube and said I better have my globe ready. Well, I have it ready here, but he's not on here yet. I don't know. I don't have his email address. I can't send him a message on Facebook. I don't have any way to send him the link to get in here. And I don't know if he's in the live chat here. I don't see him in here either. So, what's going on, Ryan? Maybe everybody wants to just kind of pop over to his channel and click on the little link I put in the live chat here, and give him a little, hey, what's up? Where's your yourself? Aren't you going to show? So, anyway, but I got a couple things here. I've got Jordan Sweet, who's in here. And just a second, I'm not. You know what? I didn't prep. Good. He is on here. And hold on. There we go. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm great. So Jordan, it was originally Jordan had challenged Ryan to debate, and then Ryan, I don't know, didn't want to debate Jordan and insisted that he debate me. But so Jordan's going to be here as a moderator. So should Ryan show up?
I'm pretty sure that he just saw a bigger fish and was like, oh, do I want to talk to this nobody on Facebook, or do I want to talk to this guy with 6,000 subscribers? I mean,
I don't know if he even knows that I don't know. He's on Facebook. His oldest video is 5 years old. He has a couple hundred videos and a whopping 154 subscribers.
I won 33 whack-a-mole. I did it.
Oh, you did. You did. Well done. Clive Wells came in second place, but there you go. So yeah, just in case you're wondering, 33 gets timed out every time he comments, because he copy pastes the same thing, and I'm like, you want to come on, you can on camera. Gary Wybenga, he copy pastes the same thing, but here's the truth about Gary Wybenga. So back in 1997, I wrote a bash script. And if computer people, you know what a bash script is, to just copy paste text. And it was kind of basic. And what happened is I forgot the password to the computer running, and it kind of developed its own, I don't know. It's kind of running independent, kind of like V'ger, if you've watched Star Trek, the first movie. So yeah, it's actually, Gary Wybenga is not actually human. Gary Wybenga is just a copy paste bash script that I wrote in 1997 and forgot the password. So
in 15 years, he's going to be capable of war games level.
He will be. Would you like to play a game? So someday he'll get sentience. So basic, not Fortran. I've done both basic and Fortran.
I've met.
So the video of Ryan, please don't watch it. It will injure you if you watch it. But yeah, he is a lot of talk. So maybe we just want to review one of his rants that he sent to me. Now since his account is on Facebook is Gonski. I'm sorry. I should not have said good Gons. That was stupid of me to say Gonski. I don't do that. It got away from me.
That's
I gotta send. So I took pictures on my phone, and I'll airdrop them to my computer here. It's called Gary and Paste for a reason. Oh, come on. Oh, no, I need to go into my Finder. Do. So, how you doing there, Jord? And the Jord said.
I'm doing all right. I'm just I'm actually looking at Ryan's channel, and I suggest you don't.
So yeah, the oldest video is 5 years old, and it's got it's chemtrails, and have you ever, you know what chemtrail people do? There's one thing they do.
They point at the sky and go, "Oh, bad."
That's it. That's all they ever do. They're like, I'm gathering evidence. I'm doing research. No, you're not. It's the same thing everybody else has done. There's thousands of videos of people pointing cameras at the sky as if they're exposing something. And all of the they and them that are hiding this, whatever the chemtrails are, never thought to go and take these videos down or have these people taken out or anything. The fact that these people live is proof that chemtrails are not anything.
I mean, one thing that I've always wondered about chemtrails is if they're purposely spreading it in the air, why do they do it in a way that thousands of people can see every single angle?
Why would they do it at night?
Or wouldn't you think that my thing is, wouldn't you think that they like install some kind of system to distribute it at ground level? And then a lot of people complain about fluoride in water, which honestly,
we need to fight back.
If you're drinking a lot of tap water, could be a problem, but I doubt anybody's drinking that much tap water. And I think by the time that you're drinking that much tap water, you got some other problems to deal with.
Yeah. So God's Auditor is asking, is Ryan Wyrick from Washington? If so, I might know him. So yeah, God's Auditor, take that link, go look at it. His face is right on there. He's got a shirt that says "Believe in Boston." Let's listen to his voice a little.
I was gonna say he's got a flat Earth. He's got a flat Earth playlist on his YouTube channel.
Oh.
It averages about, I'd say, 100 views per video. There's some outliers, like we got one here with 777 views.
Hey, there you go. That proves nothing, but
yeah. Oof. Let's see if he's got one with 666.
All right, I'm going to listen to his voice here for a second.
Physically remove these punks. They're in there. But if there's a camera and you know it, you'll be taken out. Survival of the fittest. Don't go outside at night. Bring your...
Yeah, I don't know what... can't place that accent. But, yeah, God's Auditor, if you...
I didn't hear it. Did the stream hear it?
Yeah, you don't hear it. Doesn't go to you. It'd feedback if I did it. And I need it. There's software. I have the software. It's ready to go. But man, he was all talk. So so I'm gonna get this there it is. I gotta move those to somewhere so that we can look at them. So I'll put them on the screen so you can all look at the lovely rant that he did. The big talk that he did, and so far is not stepping up to make good on his big talk. So,
and here's the thing, Ryan: if you're scared because I'm here, I will happily back out and allow you and Tune to discuss. Actually, even if you come in, I'm not hardly gonna speak to you unless you step out of line. I was actually a debate moderator in 2 out of the 4 different debate clubs I was in. So, well, when the teacher wasn't the moderator, which was a lot of the time. But
so, of all the flat Earth debates, how many were actually debates that you've watched?
Zero. Actually, there have been 1 or 2. there have been one or two that have actually been structured and formatted. Like, I'm pretty sure that ones that Red's Rhetoric did, I was like actually blown away. And that's one of the reasons that I like, God, I can never remember their name when I talk about them. Steve and them, that debate channel. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The one that went to the drama, yeah. That they structure their debates a lot of the time in a way that it's like you're closer than everybody else, you know, like I don't know. It's because in a lot of different, the problem I had was a lot of different people who teach debate have a different style of debate, you know, like in different parameters that they set, you know, like the Bill Nye versus the creationist debate. That is probably the closest you'll get to a pseudoscientist versus a scientist in an actual debate set.
I didn't like either. I don't like Bill Nye.
I don't like Bill Nye either, and I really like that debate, but the way it was structured is
I suppose. Yeah, Ken Ham's the other one, and
Ken Ham.
Yeah. So all right. So I have the Jordan. You'll have to look on the live stream, but like just bring a globe and demonstrate the eclipse shadows, and if there's nothing wrong, then we can debate. Well, there's nothing wrong. We're talking about an entire reality that cannot add up if the eclipse shadow moves in the wrong direction. So here's the deal. It's 5th grade stuffs. Soon as everyone on both sides chime in on your model and all agree you're doing properly and exactly the way NASA teaches. Well, it's long before NASA teaches. And then, let's see. I want to make sure I get 3. Yeah, NASA teaches. Then we go forward. There'll be no debate on the relative motion factors used for this exercise. It's in stone. There isn't 2 different ways to do it. Only one, and it's not an opinion. It's what we are taught. I don't think he paid attention is one thing. And told to believe there'll be no cartoons, only you demonstrating with a real globe. Use anything for the moon, relative size, shape, and have nothing to do with this. Nor, well, they do, but it's all right. Nor does relative distance, not in this case. Yes, it does. Your inability to understand this, Ryan, doesn't invalidate it. Anyway, doesn't relative distance, not in this case. It would only be relative motion, the spin of the globe, the orbit of the moon, and the third factor is non-existent because in one entire day the Earth is supposed to only orbit 1 degree. Oh, he's talking about the sun. Yes, that is too trivial to make enough of a difference in whether or not it goes one direction or the other. He's right there. And the moon orbiting around it, so you can use anything for your light, preferably a bright light with not a lot of light in the background so that your shadow is well defined. The more light you have in the room, the more ambient disruption to the shadow. I don't know why he doesn't do this. Why does he think I need to do that? But yeah. Brian Batcher's wondering why I don't like Bill Nye. I'll go into it later. If you need to reference certain models, sure, go ahead. But the only thing you can reference are statements and clips that show the entire process to be the way it's supposed to be. Meaning the Earth cannot be sitting still. The CGI globe and moon all have to be moving accordingly. If you move a shadow over a still surface, then you're only hurting the globe. If you think the moon orbit, oh my gosh, he just goes. This is page 3. He has 5. There's 2 more. 3 more. There are 3 more.
I don't even think conspiracy cats could get through that without taking.
Oh my gosh. And player useless. All right, keep going here. It's got the crap. Get serious. Like he doesn't know how to use a period. At least it's not a space comma, I guess. Oh. Did you not hack me to say that? Says Slim Living Cyborg.
I don't.
Oh, prove that you're not a bot, he said to Gary. What do you think's going on? I am a man of science. No, you are not, Ryan Wyrick. There is no man of science that thinks the Earth is flat. Because as soon as you start using science, you figure it out. It's not flat. only be referencing scientific factors, scientific method. In this case, literally 5th grade level math, so we're good. I will not be downloading software. Oh, he got a period there. I told him we're going to use Zoom, and he's like, I will not be downloading software. There's no need for that. Well, of course there is if you're going to join us. But I said you can use Chrome on a desktop, so that would work. Though most of his videos are vertical, so maybe he only has a phone. I don't know. If you want to just do some sort of Skype thing, you can stream your desktop live. There's a million ways you can do it, but I'm not downloading software that people want me to download. I'm not putting anything on my computer unless I have a good reason, and we don't even know what we're going to get to the point of a debate. If you have to first understand how your model works, and then you can demonstrate it, and then you can debate starts. 2 periods. What the hell? If you prove me wrong, I will honor truth and denounce the flat earth in every group that I'm a member of. Like anybody cares. There are some people, Jordan, that you're like, hey, yeah, I would not mind convincing that person, and they would then have, no longer be a flat earther. But then there's some people you're like, I don't want them.
See,
I don't want them.
I, in my life, have met 2 flat earthers in person.
Yeah.
One of them is completely incapable of, and I've been actually begging him to come on this channel and discuss it with me, because out of all the time I've known him, he used to shove flat earth down my face every time I saw him. But then once I actually looked into it and had the science to honestly, lines of longitude destroy flat earth. The fact that they don't get super, super wide as they go out is enough to disprove flat earth. Or is it longitude or latitude? I never know. I always get it.
I don't know what you're talking about specifically.
On a flat earth, if they say that Antarctica is an ice wall that surrounds globe. Well, then the lines of longitude
they'd have to get farther apart.
They'd have to get super far apart to accommodate for that, and they don't. That was the first thing I ever said to him about flat Earth, and he has refused to discuss it with me since. And
it's like on Facebook or YouTube, they block you, right? You can't block somebody in real life. You just maybe just never see them again or avoid them or whatever. So
or when you do see them, you don't talk about that thing that you used to talk about all the time. I wonder why. I remember the first thing he ever showed me was a video of rocket despin, where it goes up and it's spinning super, super fast, and then it levels out and stops spinning almost immediately.
Yeah, they have
it's D-spin or something like that.
It's a yo-yo D-spin.
Yo-yo D-spin, that's exactly what it is. And
you tell them what it is,
and
you show them the yo-yo part falling away, and they're like, no, it hit the firmament. You idiot.
And my thing is, if they even had an inkling of an understanding of just how fast that rocket was going, they would completely understand that no, it did not smack into a solid surface and just barely change course. I don't understand. It doesn't even change course.
Yeah, it doesn't act like it hit something.
Right.
they just give it magical, mystical properties. So, all right, Eileen Dover. I think her brother is Ben, but sent this. What's that?
Are they related to Hugh Jorce?
I think they're cousins. Yep. And Seymour, last name Butts. Man Devil. Gary Warbenga, admit it. You're sexually obsessed with MC Toon. Yeah.
I actually don't. Is Gary in the chat? Because I don't see anything from Gary Wybenga.
He's been people have been muting him. I mean, he's just a bash script from 1997. So all right, let's watch. I'm gonna watch this a little bit here. I've not watched this, but it was sent from Eileen, and it looks like I previewed it really quick. Looks like this Del Boy 1967. It's a scaled model showing the full transit of the moon and its shadow versus the rotation of the Earth for a 12-hour time period. So, hey, what do you say? I know that part of the problem that Ryan has is he doesn't actually understand the details of it. So
we'll move that out the way.
You won't hear this, Jordan.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute myself.
Now, one thing I forgot to mention with this model is that you notice these two little marks on here. We've got them here and here. That represents the west coast and the east coast of USA between Oregon and Charlotte. It's about 4,000, just over 4,000 kilometers. That's a scale distance of about 12.5 millimeters. And I put some tape on there, so 12.5 millimeters running around there. So that's roughly a scale distance we have on there. And this west coast side here, that's the west coast. That lines up through here, and that lines up with a white mark down there.
Bonus for Legos.
All recording. Yep, I believe so. Alright, let's get started. So first we'll rotate the Earth. We'll start it at 6 a.m. in the morning on the west coast. Okay, so first we'll rotate, and the moon's ready in the starting position. We'll rotate the Earth 15 degrees to the east. It's 15 degrees, set up through there. I'll rotate the moon half a degree for the same 1 hour time period. Not rotate, but actually the moon's orbit will move. Okay, that's half a degree. Back to the Earth. That's 7 a.m. at the moment. I'll rotate to 8 a.m. another 15 degrees, another hour. So now 8 a.m. That's right on it there. And we'll move the moon another half a degree. That's about half a degree there. Back to the Earth, rotate it, it's 8 a.m. We'll move to 1 more hour, another 15 degrees to 9 a.m. And now we'll orbit the moon another half a degree. Now you can probably see just on the model there, you see in the moon's penumbra just hitting the corner on there on the Earth. It comes into view. Okay, so leave it there. 9 degrees. Now this is where the eclipse should be starting roughly, so we'll rotate the Earth another 15 degrees to 10 a.m. So that's lined up 9 degrees. I'm going to rotate the moon, orbit the moon another half a degree as it comes across.
Dang, Ryan, you're getting smashed here.
There we go. So right now, we can see the moon's penumbra, the umbra now hitting right at 10 a.m, coming right down there. So we'll now continue. Let's see. Rotate to 11 a.m.
I just want to unmute myself to say that this is actually freaking awesome. Like,
another
this is one of the
degrees.
coolest things I've ever seen, honestly.
5 degrees for the moon. Puts it right on there. Now you can already see already that in that same rotation period, the shadow It actually moved from west to east faster. Now I'm going to rotate till midday. It's right some nice degrees there. Is it a bit that? Oh, that's it. It's rather nice degrees there. And we'll move the moon another 5 degrees. And there we have another 5 degrees. Again, another 15 degrees. With the moon, another 5 degrees. Degrees. 5 degrees. 15 degrees. 5 degrees. 15 degrees. 5 degrees. One of the cameras is about to go dead on me, I think. Another 15 degrees.
Just a second.
Another 5 degrees. And the last one, a 12-hour day, 180 degree rotation. Finishes through there. That should be it. One last thing, have a quick look out here if we can. Oh, I won't bother rotating that. I'll move the moon, I'll move the shadow back over there. And that is the...
Did we get a rare
size.
cameo from the
We know the
two
size
kids?
of the moon.
All right, I will. I'll pause that. So, all right, that was great. In case you heard a little bit, my daughter just came in and said goodnight to me. So, yeah, that's great, Ryan Wyrick. You're done. You're done.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'm gonna add this to the description of the video. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
Did you get the same offer I got? Because before he blocked me, he said that there was $1,000.
$1,000. I mean, really, it goes to the author of this video.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think whoever made this video is owed $1,000.
Yep. But of course, we know how reliable flatties are at paying $100,000 or any number of dollar challenges. They don't. They never do. They refuse. So, yeah.
They don't even go through the channels to set it up to where it would be possible to win.
Yep. So, all right. We're going to get, since it seems that I'm going to invite Dan in. So, Dan, I'm sending you, Dan Brangshire, something like that. Sent him the link to Zoom. Now, Dan and Ryan had a couple things on Facebook before Ryan ran away from Facebook too. Yeah, Ryan offered. He's like he says that he's been offering for 5 years anybody that can disprove it. $1,000 for years, right? And Dan Bragshire is like, oh well, ELP 2000 does that, which is the model that they use to predict the location and time of where the eclipse will be seen to the second, basically, or at least to the minute. So the fact that people can predict it that accurately using a orbital based model tells you a lot. Tells you all you really need to know. So, all right, hold on. It's asking for the passcode.
Never asked me.
Yeah, I don't know why it's asking him, but not you. But there it is.
Your Zoom account just automatically recognizes that I'm cool.
It could be that your account. Are you using like your Zoom account, or are you just in Chrome?
No, I'm using Zoom. I've actually had Zoom for a while.
So, all right, we've got Dan coming in now. I think he's not going to be on video. Hello. Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can. So what was so your name Dan what? Bragshire?
Brangshire is how you say it. And
okay.
Yeah, sometimes you get teased about Robin Hood or something, but I'm not a Democrat, so I don't rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Nice.
Robin Hood.
So,
that's not Bragshire, is it?
Well, the Shire is maybe the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, but cool. So, well, anyway, Dan has had quite a few go-arounds with Ryan on Facebook, including offering him. I'll let you say offering him something. Why don't you cover that?
Oh yeah. I actually offered him $25,000 to find a flaw in ELP 2000, which is the name of the most recent, most robust model of celestial movement. And this is basically where we take an observation of where all the planets are as of January 1st, 2000. Take a look at their trajectory, take a look at the effect that gravity has by every planet on every planet in order to project where the planets are going to move to next. And that is the algorithm that is used to predict where, when the next eclipse is going to be. It's how we get such enormous accuracy to be able to have predicted, like the last eclipse in the United States was August 2017. They were able to predict, hey, it's going to start on the West Coast. It's going to move across the United States. It went, southeast. Ground zero was, I think, in, Hopkinsville, Kentucky for it. But it kind of moved. They predicted with perfect precision exactly where it would be every moment of the day. And, we did it perfectly with a globe-based model. And that model, of course, assumes that Earth is a globe of a certain size. It assumes that the moon is a certain distance away, that it's a certain size, that the sun is 93 million miles away. And if any of those pieces of information were wrong, we would not have been able to have predicted it correctly. So our ability to predict this stuff is very much based on all the statistics that flat earthers say are wrong and that we have no idea of. I mean,
yeah, it like you could not predict these things accurately if you didn't have a good understanding of it. And all this is public information. No. It's not hidden. Any flat earther that can do math. Surely I jest. Any flat earther that could do math could look at this and then test it, plug in the parameters to see, does it work? Yes, it does work. And there's no way to predict it on flat Earth, so yeah. Too bad. So I put the link in both in the chat, and for those of you playing along at home later, it is in the description of the video to the ELP 2000 thing that I have on the screen right now. It's pretty involved. It's a PDF hosted on Harvard, but it's not from them. It's from NASA. It's actually from NASA. So excellent. we've still got Gary Wybenga, silly kid, in the chat. So this is strange. I based on how much he was talking, I kind of thought he would be here. You know, I've had lots of debates, and I've had lots of people back out. And so I kind of have a bit of an idea for when they aren't going to be here. And since he was saying things to me earlier today, I thought he would. So
Robert Caslow in the chat says the paper being shown is globe proof. Have you watched the video? Because like, are you just joining us? Because if you're just joining us, this is the system that they use to plot out the position of planetary bodies. This isn't proof of anything. This is just what we use, assuming the Earth is a globe, and if it wasn't a globe, none of it would work.
Right. And the fact that we've used this to predict eclipse after eclipse after eclipse for several decades now, I think pretty much substantiates the fact that the theory has got to be right. Because if the theory wasn't right, these predictions just simply wouldn't work.
And the thing is, isn't it to like the next 1,000 years or something these are accurate? Like, I know there's a fall off point where like we can't really say for certain where they will be. I don't know that. That's pretty much what I'm asking. Is this like down to the point for even like 10,000 years in the future, or?
Well, that's a good question. There's kind of a complicated answer to that. There's actually some low precision formulas that we use that are probably good for a few decades.
Right.
ELP 2000 is probably good for a few centuries. However, keep in mind, it's assuming that you've only got it still assumes the 9 planets we sort of know about in our solar system. And, you know, what if there is a planet X that comes sweeping in here and changes Earth's orbit a little bit, right, or one of the other planets? I mean, yeah, that's going to have an effect too. So there can be, you know, large masses that could have an influence on Earth's orbit or even the moon's orbit.
It's like little astronomical anomalies, yeah.
Yeah, and also the current model, the most sophisticated model, is still based on Newtonian gravity. And there is some debate among scientists, well, shouldn't we take relativity into account? Wouldn't that give us a more accurate model? And the answer to that is it probably would. If you really needed precision over a few millennium. Right. But we won't be alive to see the difference. I think that when you want precision going back a few centuries, going forward a few centuries probably isn't a big deal. Going backwards is a little bit more, because the reason for that is sometimes historians have a need to correlate historical records about eclipses, you know, either solar eclipses or lunar eclipses, with historical events, and being able to correlate those with the timing of when things happen, because there's a lot of things we really don't know the exact year when a lot of things have happened. You know, I mean, when you go back, say 2,000 years, and you're trying to date something that happened 2,000 years ago and match that with today's calendar, you know, they used to date it by the reign, you know, the 3rd year of the reign of King so-and-so. And, you know, we're trying to correlate all these records of different ways different people kept time a few thousand years ago. So a lot of times, if you could correlate an event with an astronomical event, it's a lot easier to line them up. And that's probably where having accurate models is more helpful, is probably going backwards in history in order to line those up. Sometimes those are slightly, you know, we have a slight problem getting them to add up perfectly. But generally speaking, I would say ELP 2000 works pretty good to within a few minutes to an hour or so, even when you go back a couple centuries. So most of the problems we have in getting it to line up is like getting it to line up within, a few minutes or a few hours or something like that. But typically it's pretty reliable.
So it's a model, and then there's numbers that you plug into it that are based on observations, right? And so I have on the screen here, like table 8 says initial values of planetary longitudes and mean motions from VSOP 82. So then there's these different values, right? I think it's looks like it's Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So these things are plugged in, and then that's used to run the formula. So in the future, if it starts to skew, then they could update these the input values with the newer observations. So if something is off because the formula is off by enough over 100 years to do something, then they can tweak that. Or if it's off by because relativity has introduced enough skew over a century to now be noticeable. And but the types of, here's the cool thing, the types of, and I read some of this one, the types of accuracy in the margin of error they're talking about is like 2 centimeters, right? So so they're 2 centimeters off is their gap. That's pretty stinking good for something that's, thousands of miles in size. So yeah, if so that might cause your margin of error over the course of a century to be 3 centimeters or 4 centimeters, something like that. So I got a couple things here. Let's do Robert Williams says eclipse predicted over Egypt on August 2, 2027. Woot mummies. Thank you very much, Robert, for that was for $4.99. We've got Bellachard for $5 New Zealand dollars, says we only have 8 planetary bodies now. Thanks, Neil. You wrecked so many kids' lives.
I just respond to
why are they blaming Neil? Come on, let's blame Bill Nye, because I'm kidding. I gotta get back to that. Just all right. Just a second here, Jordan, because people are asking. Brad Wenger said, "Can we have Dan introduce himself? I'd like to know his education and employment." So Dan, don't leak any information you don't want to leak. But
that's okay.
And if your answer is I don't want to say, that's fine as well.
I've got, my background is basically I was educated in electrical engineering. So I went to college. I studied all the basic math and physics that just about anyone would get for it, any sort of a STEM degree. And most of the issues that flat earthers raise are issues that are kind of covered in really your first 2 years of physics or engineering degree. There's not much that ever comes up that you deal with as late as your junior year. So it's really simple stuff. I mean, these are not complicated concepts that flat earthers deal with. And most of the time, I'm just amazed at how they seem to take a lot of these principles of physics and get them 100% backwards of the way you learn it in physics, because momentum doesn't exist in flat earth physics. And
helicopters or balloons, why don't they just wait for the earth to rotate underneath? Because momentum, we teach it. Here's the thing, that's taught to elementary age. That's not college. Momentum is not college. But all right, keep going. Dan.
And I think that I like to call flat earth physics anti-physics, because it's just opposed to real life physics. And it's almost like anytime they make a statement, anytime they make an allegation about physics and say this is the way physics is, there's almost always at least two things wrong with it. Sometimes 3 or 4. It's just amazing at how much they can get wrong. But like I said, most of it is really simple stuff. And of course, in engineering still, I mean, we're looking at taking physics and applying it to technology. but we end up doing, gobs of math. So, I mean, a lot of the mathematics that exists in just, tracking the movement of the planets. And this is something I'd always been fascinated with. I mean, a little bit after I got out of college, I had a real fascination with the movement of the planets, and I wrote some software to use some of the easier formulas, not the full blown ELP 2000 stuff, but I actually did write some software. I don't know, I think it was back in the 90s to track some of this and play around with it a lot. I've probably lost the software since then, but I did learn, a lot about how these formulas move how they work pretty thoroughly back then. And, this stuff works. I mean, it predicts everything correctly. And of course, in science, one of the standards we have in the scientific world is that if you have a theory and that theory correctly predicts the future, then we use it until a theory comes along that does a better job of predicting the future. That's the standard that science uses. Okay, so right now the globe model works. It has a theory. That theory correctly predicts the future. So until a flat earther can come along with a model that at least matches the predictions, it can at least give you the same predictions, the scientific world is not going to take flat earth seriously at all. Okay, because that is the standard we use. Science has a very pragmatic approach to this thing, and that is you come up with you basically start by making an observation, measuring it, ask yourself how much, and then after you measure what you've observed, we try to make a prediction about the future. And if you've got a model that works, we go with that model until a better one comes along. If you can come up with two models that both give you the same answer, then you've got to, you're going to have to really wrestle as to why they can both give you the same answer. But flat earthers don't have a model. In fact, a lot of times they will make mathematical claims and they could never tell you how much. For example, they say that, when they talk about perspective, they say, well, you can only see the sun so far. And then when it gets a certain distance, you can't see it anymore. But if you ask them the question, well, how far is that the sun can no longer be seen? Well, they don't know. They can't tell you. They can't put a number on that. Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason they can't put a number on that is because it just plain doesn't work on a flat earth model.
Yeah, as soon as you test it, it fails.
Yeah. Right. And if you were to measure how far the sun is on one given day, when it disappears, it won't match how far it is on the next given day. So they can't put a number on it at all. I think the person who probably did the most to try to analyze it mathematically was probably Samuel Rowbotham back in the late 19th century. If you actually read his book, his book actually has some great evidence against flat earth. If you actually work out the mathematics to it. Yeah. There's one section in his book where he makes an observation from 2 points. And he says that if you he makes an observation about what angle the sun was from a given city and another one about the angle the sun was from another city. He doesn't actually do the math. He just says that the answer is less than 4,000 miles high. Well, if you actually work out the math, which I did once when I was reading through his book, it comes out to be about 2,600 miles high. He doesn't really want to put a number on it. And I guess, granted, we know that sometimes the sun is closer than it is at other times. We know the moon's closer than it is at other times. We know that because sometimes it looks a little bigger than it does at other times. Okay. So we know from the fact that the size varies a little bit is one of the reasons why we could safely say that it's not exactly the same distance. So, you can't fault him for not wanting to put an exact number on it. Oh, yeah. But 2,600 miles would have to be roughly where it would be on a flat earth model. However, he did not do a third city. Now, here's the problem. If you try to do this math with two cities, you have to make an assumption about what shape of the earth is. And you can claim that it converges at some point.
So, when you say
three cities,
two cities like Eratosthenes did?
Yeah.
Yeah, where one is on the subsolar point, right?
Right.
And the other is not. So that's actually just one measurement. That's not two cities. Just to be clear, because
Well, yeah.
I think it's worth noting.
Yeah, one thing that's very important to understand here, though, is that if you do two cities, if you take two cities and try to observe either the sun or the moon or anything from those two cities, then you can make an assumption about the shape of the Earth and then say, okay, it converges at this point. However, you haven't proven the shape of the Earth at that point. Okay. However, if you take a third city and you try to get an observation from all three cities to converge to a single point, then you no longer have to make an assumption about the shape of the Earth. You just simply figure out what shape makes all three observations converge to the same point. And at that point, no flat-off observation is going to work. Now, Robotham did not introduce the third city, and that actually makes me wonder, because when you read his book, he seems to know enough about geometry and trigonometry to know that he really needed to put in a third city to make sure the math works, but he didn't.
He knew.
Yeah, I think he did know.
I think absolutely knew. He was a snake oil salesman. That's what he did.
I think you're right.
He traveled around southern England and he sold snake oil. But to make more money, he started this flat Earth thing. And his first couple times, reading some of the history I did, first couple things people didn't like his shtick, and they kind of challenged him, and he didn't do well. But over time, he honed his abilities at debate so that he could snow people and talk over them and do just like Nathan Thompson does. Mm-hmm. So I measured there were three of us. So this would be not three cities, but four cities on your, that's why I made the distinction, right? We know where the subsolar point is. It doesn't have to be a city. It can be anywhere as long as you know where the subsolar point is. So from Minneapolis, I measured it. I have pictures here in this parking lot. This is December 21st, I believe, 2019, right? There is my tripod, and then I drew on the ground a mark, 121 inches, and the height of the tripod there is 50.25 inches. I did the math, and it gives me a certain angle, which is in the spreadsheet. So these are on my website. People can go look. So I was at 45.02083. I was much more precise than this other person at 45.57 degrees latitude. But radius of the flat sun elevation. So assuming flat Earth, we get three different sun elevations. These are in kilometers. So 3,047, 3,162, or 4,468, all on the same day. Doesn't work. But if we take the hypothesis that the Earth is a sphere and the sun is very far away, then the radius is, and then do the math, the radius is all converged, and there's a very narrow margin of error.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw somebody post yesterday. He had three different people in three different cities who measured the angle to Polaris, and he showed the flat Earth math and the globe-based math, and demonstrated that globe-based math works. It all converges to the same point. Flat Earth math does not converge to the same point, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, what? What's the angle to Polaris? Well, what's my latitude? It's the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, let's see. There's the visible hand in the chat who just maybe right the hand. I don't know. Anybody think he's right the hand? But he seems to be a flat earther, but he's a little too. I don't know. I think he's fake. So. Oh, Brad Wenger. That was Brad Wenger asking the elevation to Polaris, and the latitude. So yeah. Yeah, everybody thinks it's right the hand. So right the hand has been dogging me. He wants to debate me. Which I'm ready for. Let's see. Ooh, I gotta get this. I don't know where Jordan is. I'm ready, but because Right the Hand is such a horrible, terrible, awful person, and has made accusations to Karen be a flat earther that I don't really have any. I don't know her, right? But he made some disgustingly rude accusations to her. So, in order to debate, he just needs to apologize on camera with the script I approve. And if he won't do that, there's no debate. He said, I'll do it after. I'm like, you got to do it before. And so he's like, oh, you're scared. And Right the Hand thinks that he's really smart. Very few people higher on the Dunning-Kruger scale than Right the Hand. Dan, have you seen him on Facebook? It is Chris Zielinski.
No, I haven't encountered him.
Well, he's been tagging me several days in a row on his page, saying that I won't debate him because I'm scared and because he thinks that I'm smart, or that he is smart. And I'm like, you want to show that you're right. All you got to do is make that video, and then if I don't debate you, Chris, then you're right. That simple. So, anyway, yeah, this is I mean, it's a surprise because I did not think that Ryan would back out, because he was talking smack earlier today, and now he's gone.
I am surprised. I thought for sure he would give it a shot because he seemed to be so convinced he was right.
Yeah, and it's not like he's not been on Facebook, right? So some people, they're like, I can see people having a little bit of a challenge to get over that initial barrier to get on and talk to somebody live or whatever. But he's done for 5 years. He's been on Facebook. I mean, he's got a whole 154 subscribers.
Yeah, that's 140 some more than I got.
Yeah.
So,
and he did. Let's see. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's done 5 videos today.
oof.
5 videos today. So let's see. A video from 2 weeks ago has a whopping 35 views. Oh, people are on their yeah, they're just waiting. They're waiting for the notification for his new video to come out. Dan, you were going to say
I don't know.
something.
You know, maybe he was researching this issue and discovered where his thinking went wrong and said, oh, I can't talk about this.
Flat earthers. That's silly. Flat earthers don't research.
Actually, if I could explain to you where probably Ryan and several other people who have thought this way have gone wrong, because they seem to think, okay, the moon moves slower than the Earth, so how could the shadow of the moon go from? It seems like to them that it should go east to west. However, here's the problem with that: an object's shadow is going to move faster than the object itself. And just to give you an illustration of this, let me try to give you a couple of simple illustrations of this. If you're standing still and the sun is moving, then your shadow is going to move even though you're not moving, right? Okay, so your shadow is moving faster than you. You know, you're standing still, your shadow's moving. Okay, now during an eclipse, what you've got is the moon moves from one side of the moon to the other. Now, if you were to move your hand from, say, just to the left side of a light to just slightly to the right side of the light, then you're going to see your shadow move. However, when your hand is on the left side of the light, your shadow is going to be further to the left than your hand, because that shadow is going to project out to the left. So it's going to be further to the left of the light than your hand is. When you move it to the right side of the light, the shadow of your hand is going to be further out than your hand itself. So your shadow has actually covered a greater distance than your hand did. Okay, so your shadow is moving faster than your hand. And you can see this if you try this. You know, if you just wave your hand to two sides of a light, you can see this. You can see your shadow moving faster than your hand. Okay, and that's what happens during an eclipse. Now, during an eclipse, you've got more than one kind of movement going on because Earth is rotating, right, one direction, it's also orbiting in the opposite direction. So you've actually got Earth, you've kind of got two different movements going on with the Earth. And then you've got the moon orbiting the Earth, but its shadow's moving faster than the moon. So the combination of both of those things, the fact that the moon's shadow is moving faster than the moon, and the fact that Earth is rotating one direction but curving in the other, both of those things are having an impact on the fact that the shadow's moving fast. The shadow of the moon is moving faster than the moon, and that's essentially, if you were to create a model that's perfect. We just saw a video of someone who did do a perfectly 2-scale model and demonstrate the fact that yes, that shadow will move from west to east. And of course, the mathematical models of this, that you can grab any of the models, whether you're talking about the most recent ELP 2000, you can go back in time to VSOP 87, or even some of the simpler ones than that. They all predicted these eclipses to move from west to east because they were taking that issue into account. So,
see, my thing is, I admit that you are right that that is a problem that they have, but the bigger problem is that a flat earther could sit there and listen to that entire conversation, everything you just said, and dismiss it with one word: bullshit. That's the real problem.
That's all they have is that, denial. Denial is a religious position, right? When you have evidence and you just say, nah, that's just that's a religion.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say that line of thinking, that questioning, like, well, if this is how it's supposed to be, why doesn't it do this? There's nothing inherently wrong with that line of questioning, because that's how you learn about, like, the motion of the planets relative to each other, and, like, differences in orbital velocities and stuff like that. Like I've always harkened back to this question I asked one of my science teachers growing up about throwing a paper plane in the bus and why it wouldn't stay still or even go back. And when they explained it to me, I was like, oh, so it's in a different frame. It maintains its momentum from the bus moving, so it carries that speed when I throw it. Like, my, like, I want to say 4th grade mind understood that, and I just don't understand how somebody can sit there and have something explained to them and just be like, nuh-uh. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think that for most flat earthers, the basis of their belief is that they start with, somebody wrapped this up as a conspiracy theory to them. In fact, I've kind of said that I've got a great marketing gimmick. I want to just create a list of flat earthers and their names and contact information. And then I'm going to start a marketing program where I just call them up and say, the government does not want you to know about this product. And, we can sell anything to them that way because that's all I think that's the basis of their thinking. If nobody believed the Earth was flat until somebody figured out a way to wrap it into a conspiracy theory and project it as something, oh, the government doesn't want you to know this, but and a lot of people who have already believed a lot of conspiracy theories have they just latch on to this as, oh, okay, this is another thing the government's hiding from us. And then they work everything else backwards from that. I mean, they believe it because they've already believed all these other theories. It's just another one thrown in the mix as far as they're concerned. And they embrace it emotionally, really, is what it boils down to. It's an emotional belief. And then they work the logic backwards. And
rejecting things that don't match, too.
Right. And because they're working the logic backwards, they get their physics backwards. And they make all these allegations about physics that are absolutely backwards of the way things really work. I love this cold moon stuff. Oh. I mean, that's another great one. That just, you can't have, that just defies the nature of light.
Well, for them to, right, they go on and on about the second law of thermodynamics, and it's their misunderstanding of it, and the cold moonlight would completely violate the first law of thermodynamics, but they can't handle that, right? They just ignore that would violate the first law. So it's this weird. The standard of evidence is inconsistent. Multi Tom-Tom's in the chat. So 33 you see is in here, and every time he comes in, he's like, let me in. I'm like, you got to be on camera. So, and he's wondering why. And so I hope you're listening, 33. The reason why you need to be on camera is because I have integrity. I would love to have you on, and because I do these debates for fun, and when there's a no-show, I'd love to have somebody come on anyway, right? But Dan and Jordan are going to be on, and that's great because we're going to get real science and real information instead of a bunch of derp. But the reason why 33 is because integrity. I told you needed to come on and be on camera. That's why. If I change that rule, if I let it go just because I want somebody on, then I don't have integrity. That hurts it, right? Same with Right the Hand. I told you needed to apologize to Karen B. And I even set up a debate venue. And I might show that a different time. The actual conversation with the person that was going to host it, if you apologized. And I'd love to have you on. I really would. But I can't because I have integrity. And so you need to keep your side and I'll keep my side. So that's why Right the Hand, or 33. That's why. So Jordan is back.
Sorry about that. My dogs have actually been... I've got one that's getting older, like going a little bit past his prime, and then I got one that's just coming into his prime, and they like to fight. So every once in a while I got to run over there and... Well, it's not really a fight. It's just the little one wants to show the bigger one, I'm bigger now, It's just... The old one is not healthy enough for it,
The visible hand, who seems to just be a contrarian. I think he's kind of kidding. Says he doesn't have any dogs.
I mean, I'll go get the little one for you. The 3 ones are too big to show you, but.
So, Multi Tom-Tom, who has accepted debates twice with me and then not shown. Somebody's like, come on, get in. And he's like, I'm not photogenic. Well,
yeah.
Well, I believe you, Multi Tom-Tom, that you're not photogenic. I do.
I look like a pirate Jesus right now. Do you think you have any room to talk?
You should really own that. Cut off your hand and put a hook on it. Just to really be who you are, So, little Wolf AK82 says, I found Waldo.
Come on.
That's Waldo. Look at Waldo.
Yeah. I'm Waldo if he let himself go.
That's awesome. Bella Charge for 5 New Zealand says, here's your NASA paycheck. The house outside the dome is available next weekend. Awesome. What? There. Oh, is that a boxer or a rock?
Is half boxer, half pit terrier.
Okay.
All baby.
My goodness. Just hugging.
He will literally sit here and do this for hours if I let him. But I can't let him because he digs his claws into me. He's a good boy. And I got the fat one I'd show you, but he's in my dirty room. And
all right. So I was why do I not like Bill Nye?
Oh yeah.
it's just a personal thing, not a real thing. I just never, I don't like his personality. I don't like, I don't know, he's kind of pompous a little bit, and I mean, a lot of the reasons the Flurfs don't like him, like, kind of same. Like, I don't like his personality, his science, whatever. I've not actually watched much. I've only watched as an adult, and I'm like, I don't like him. That's all.
Yeah.
Nothing real, anything. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's fine. I have his book. I think it's at work still, which I don't get to very often these days.
I loved Bill Nye when I was a kid, but looking back on it, he's a little bit, condescending. He explains stuff like he's talking to a child, which, like, granted, he at first was talking to children, but even to this day, he carries that I'm better than you, that I don't even really know how to describe it. That's something I like about, like, honestly, I have personal problems with Neil deGrasse Tyson, honestly, that kind of aren't safe to talk about on stream, but he did some stuff that allegedly he did some stuff that I think is horrible, but
yeah, there was some of that. Somebody's saying because I like Beekman. I know who Beekman is. I don't know if I've ever watched any.
I don't know Beekman.
Beekman's World.
Never heard of it.
Dan, have you heard of Beekman's World?
No, I haven't.
And then somebody's saying Professor Proton. I don't know that.
Oh, I knew Professor Proton.
I watched Mr. Wizard. I even had his book, and then I bought his book for my kids. So let's see. There's another scientist. Let's see if I can find.
Probably my favorite science communicator of all time is Carl Sagan. That's probably my number one.
Yeah.
I've never had any, like, the original Cosmos series is probably one of my favorite, just anything, like, if I have the chance to just sit down and watch it again, I normally do,
Oh, Professor Proton is from The Big Bang Theory. Okay.
I was waiting for somebody to make a couple more references.
I stopped watching Big Bang Theory when she cut her hair. There you go. So yeah, I like Philo. Philo from UHF. That's who. If you like UHF, you're my friend. Every year, around my kid's birthday, which turns out to be plus or minus 4 months, we watch it and eat a Twinkie Wiener sandwich. And my friend moved temporarily to Singapore. It's like he moved to Singapore just as the lockdown was happening. So he's hardly been out of his building. Oh, poor guy. Crafty Keela for 2 euros says, Hail Sagan.
Hail Sagan.
There
man.
you go. Yeah. I did like Hail Sagan. He had a good style. His billions and billions thing got sometimes a little old, but I liked it. Yeah, Bill Nye can be pompous, but when dealing with science deniers, can you blame him? Nah, yeah. I don't think that's the pompous view of him. It's the few times I've seen him on his shows that I was kind of bothered. So, and Truth Nerds is a new member. Thank you very much, Truth Nerds. You can use the let's see. I love the Carlton. If Fresh Prince is a great show, I love that. If all of my after shows, I have Will Smith on there. Just for fun. So there's a Carlton emoji. And Ilya, I know maybe you could get to me later. What You said that you had an idea for an emoji. I'd love to hear that. If anybody else has emoji ideas, I have spots for a few more. So send me a message.
Can we put one with 33 in timeout? Like,
how do you do that in an emoji? That's a good one.
Like maybe one of those little cribs, like those pack and play cribs, you know? Put just the number 33 in a pack and play crib.
I love that. So funny. Poor 33.
She got you. I got you.
33 is like, why can 33 why can Russian vids come on without being on camera, and 33 has to be on camera? Well, number one, like I said, because I made that rule. But number two, because Russian vids is entertaining.
Yes.
And 33, you're a one-trick pony. You only have like 2 or 3 questions that you ask, and in your tiny little grape nut sized brain, that you think debunks the globe, but it doesn't, right? And so it's not funny after a certain point when you say, well, how much money did Buzz Aldrin spend, or if his mom is on the moon, and is he upside down when he goes from one pole to the other, or if you jump into a hole that all the way through the earth, do you come out upside down or right side up? None of that is evidence for flat earth, and that's what you need to do for flat earth evidence, not dumb questions about the globe that show that you don't understand things. So
and that's the thing, asking those questions isn't bad, 33. It's just you gotta be actually looking for an answer instead of
accept their answer,
what you do.
So Multi Tom Tom's asking, what's the point of this stream? Well, Multi Tom Tom, yet another flat earther, got all talky about coming on to debate and then did not show. So I'll let's see, there's 129 people watching. I will pop in again the URL to his video where he did not where I commented and he said, I hope you're ready, or I said I hope you're ready. He's talking smack to me, but he's not showing up. So if you feel like saying something to Big Talkin' Ryan Wyrick, go ahead. There's the link. So
I wonder if he's watching this tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
Toon, have I ever been on a stream with a flat earther in it?
No. You've had the worst luck. You've come on twice to debate with James Walker, who ran away both times. You came on a stream and then left and went to bed, and Res Rhetoric came on just after you left.
Wait. There was that one with the with DKG and that Keith guy.
Oh yeah, Keith, who was Keith was gonna be on last night and did not show. Yes,
that was actually.
Yes,
I did enjoy that stream.
Mandevil, I do have that video open. I see that you commented. There's some good comments on there. There's 14 comments. Let's get some more in there. Let him really know. There's 120 people watching, and I know some people are passively watching, like in your phone in your pocket as you're shopping, because I do that myself. But yeah, if you can just click this little linky poo here, the linky doodle, as Flat Out would say, and go let him know what you think. So. And
he's got multiple videos on his channel, so if you're feeling extra, you can go comment on multiple videos, make it multiple notifications, blow the stuff up.
Yeah. I like it focused in one, because then we can all enjoy, and savor the moment. So the visible hand says,
how often do people not show up?
About half or more. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder how certain a lot of flat earthers are of their own belief system, because
Right.
you see these guys that they're serial blockers. They just block everybody. And then, you give them a forum where they can um, express themselves, but they also can't control the flow of the debate, and they chicken out. It seems like they seem to know that they can't win a free and open debate. That if they have to put what they say under scrutiny and they can't control the narrative, that they're going to lose. And I have run into a number of flat earthers who have admitted to me that they have a lot of very serious doubts about whether they're right. In fact, I would venture to say that about half the flat earthers that I have actually met in person, talked to about it in depth, have admitted to me that they have some doubts about whether they're really right, because there's things they can't really explain. In fact, I threw that question up, I think, the other day,
Yeah.
to see how many issues there were that they have serious doubts about. And of course, this issue we're talking about today is one of them. I have had a number of flat earthers that have admitted to me that the fact that science can predict what's going to happen in the future does give them serious doubts. I think another big one is the fact that people in northern and southern hemispheres don't see the same stars. A lot of them, they just plain can't explain that issue either. That's another big one I hear. Yeah, I was trying to fish out what some of the big ones are to figure out how we prioritize this, because
Yeah.
There are, some issues are just more important than others. I think that sometimes we spend time arguing over stuff that, it's like a real side issue. Like when they bring up this, how come a helicopter can't just hover and let Earth pass underneath it? I doubt that really sways too many people's minds.
I think it's them trying to avoid the hard question.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I think that there are some issues. But that's why I was trying to, put together a list of, well, what really are the issues that they have a really, really hard time with. And in this issue tonight, I have definitely discovered that this one's huge. This is one where they just can't explain it. They shut up. And there's another meme that there's a couple of memes that I like to post a lot when people say you don't have any proof. One is measuring the angle to Polaris, because anyone that's ever spent any time as an astronomer, if they've ever worked with an equatorial mount, they know this thing works. They know that you measure the angle to Polaris, it's going to be the same as your latitude. That just wouldn't work on a flat Earth. And I tend to post that one a lot. There's another one that measures the distances between cities that I post a lot. And I have had people, I have posted that. I've seen about 20 people post that chart. Okay. And I've posted it probably 50 times myself. And all the times that either I've posted or I've seen other people post it, I have never seen a flat earther address that issue. I've never seen somebody try. I think the only response I've ever seen is, well, how do we know these distances are correct? Which is almost a dumb question, because you've got people traveling from one city to another every day.
Yeah, they're in a plane and they're it's just normal passengers doing it, and they know how long it takes.
Yeah. You got people driving by car. They know the distances by, you got truckers who drive all over the United States for a living. They know how far it is from Los Angeles to Dallas, or from Dallas to New York City.
And
if they've driven those routes.
They have to, because they know before they go how much they're going to get paid.
Right.
How much they're going to charge a certain amount, and they need to know what gas they're going to pay or have to purchase, right? So the fuel is critical, and the same for flying or going over the ocean, right, on a ship.
Right. So it's not like these distancers are really a big mystery. They're not. Yeah. They work. Now, granted, if you're going to drive it, you're not going to get the straight line distance. So you know that the distance you drive is going to be greater than or equal to that straight line distance, but it's going to be ballpark. It's not like the distances that are on the maps are going to be out of proportion with reality. I mean, nobody's ever grabbed them. You know, if maps didn't work, if maps did not have the right distances, you'd have people screaming. You'd have truck drivers or airline pilots that are saying, hey, this isn't right. We've got to correct this. But we don't have that going on. I mean, maps work. You know, we have the right distances. I mean, you can plug it in on your GPS. It tells you the distance to your whole trip that you're about to make. And it works.
And it works in Australia
Speaking
too.
Of stuff that works.
Yes.
One of Flat Earth's favorite talking points I just recently figured out is null and void, because you know how they always say that line about how flights don't work on rotating sphere, and how even the flight simulator, the flight plans are always laid out on a flat, non-rotating surface. Well, I just downloaded Flight Simulator 2020, and by the way, if you haven't downloaded Flight Simulator 2020, you should. It's amazing. But anyway, sorry, I'm an airline geek, but airlines, rockets, anything that flies. Anyway, you plot all of your flights on a globe, and like you can see how if you just travel one direction and you don't turn at all, it works. Like nothing, you know, like I don't really know how to put it any simpler than that. It wouldn't work if the world were flat. Like,
yeah. So the people that do, you know, the navigators
right.
of ships, you couldn't just compartmentalize them away, or the people that are flying the flights, you couldn't fool them for the Southern Hemisphere flights or anywhere that goes, you know, south of the equator, really, because the distances get so far off. I mean, just flying from Perth to Sydney, something that happens every day, multiple times.
Right. That's
the distance could not be what the AE map says it is. It'd be 2 to 2.5 times longer.
And that's something I actually did. I tried flying from my hometown in Ohio to the South Pole one way and to the South Pole the other way. And literally, like on the flat Earth, the way, like on the AE map at least, which who freaking knows which flat earthers accept that, but on the AE map at least, the azimuthal equidistant, that's what it is. It took me a while to figure it out, but yeah, it would not work at all. It would basically be an extra, I think, 1,500 miles to the best scale that I could find, which finding a flat earth map with a scale, by the way, I think I ran into two, and they were both so hilariously wrong. Like
yeah. So there's the one that a couple weeks ago. This was great. Simon Perry, who was on last night about 5G with Mark Steele.
Yeah.
He was on like a month ago about flat Earth, and he sent me earlier that day that air flight map of the world, 1943 or so, and it has a scale on it, and the scale says each line of the distance between the lines of latitude is the same everywhere.
Oof.
Right, 60 nautical miles, but the distance between lines of longitude go in this, and it had this kind of logarithmic map scale to it. And so I pulled that up, and he's like, well, that's not my map. Like, you posted that. You posted that map. So it has an accurate scale. It is accurate.
Wait, I think I might be looking at the one you're actually talking about. The lines of longitude are like super distorted. Like,
yeah, no, you're not on camera
said they're
right now. If you're,
I'm not on camera.
Yep.
My camera. Oh, my camera must have died or something.
Air Map 1943. Yeah, that's the one.
There we are. No, I just didn't click back on it. That's weird.
It's
Okay.
it's on
There we
flatearth.ws.
Flatearth.ws.
So yeah, I have it. I'll put it on screen here. So
All right. Yeah.
he actually sent that to me. Let's see. I'll back it up there. There's the map. It's an AE. It's an AE map that cuts off some things, like South America's not on it. The southern tip of South America, but it does get Australia and South Africa.
I mean,
but
if you can call that that distortion of Australia getting Australia.
Well, no, it's correct, and the scale shows how it's correct. Right here, this is the important thing that. This is the distance between the lines of longitude are wider south of the equator significantly, and they diverge. They go quickly wider as you get farther south. And north of the equator, they are nearer to be correct. So that's accurate.
I guess I kind of understand. I mean, my brain's like, I guess this might have a problem with that. I don't know. But yeah, my brain's just looking at that and it's like, numbers, dude, you know you're not going to get it.
Well, look at how the it has that curve, right? At the bottom of it, it curves. Those are the lines of longitude south. And so then you look at Australia on this map, and I'll jump over to it, and you can see how wide it is, how distorted it is in width, right?
And that would correlate to that scale, like...
Yep.
Okay, so you would go to the line of latitude... Okay, I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure my brain is trying to understand it correctly.
So anyway, that's what that means. So yeah, that is a flat Earth map, sort of. It's an AE map with an accurate scale, but the accurate scale shows that it's a globe. So, well done. Yeah, well done, flatties. You debunked yourself again. So.
Oh, I don't like that comment. I'm gonna hide that. Sorry, Jen XU. I don't like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm 13 years old in here, right? But yeah. So, well, let's see. I'm gonna reload his page here. See if we've got a couple more. Boy, he's got some attitude in that video, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He is actively deleting comments.
Actively deleting comments. Awesome, Ryan.
Oh, what a turd. What a turd.
He blocked me on YouTube.
I'm sure he blocked us all.
Is that a surprise, huh?
I can only see my comments and a third one from somebody else. From 2 minutes ago. Like what is that not, if anything, the white flag of defeat right there? I mean, that is.
I think he has surrendered.
That is Ryan Wyrick. I accept your surrender. You are wrong, and I've looked at your other videos on there. You're a horrible, terrible, rotten person. So please block me. I'm sure you already have. I take it as a victory to be blocked by such a horrible, terrible person. I win. You lose. You suck, Ryan. I hope to never see you again. I'm glad that I'll never see you on Facebook. Keep me blocked, please.
Yeah. Have a nice, shitty life, bub. Oh, by the way, I sent a sleeper squad to your house.
Well, he has pretty much deleted his account. I mean, I kind of looked at it with
his YouTube account.
His Facebook.
His Facebook. Yeah.
His
Facebook. Just gone.
His Facebook account went away today, and he said he said something on my video that he's taking a break from Facebook. And yes, please take a break from Facebook forever, Ryan. Nobody wants you. You can go away, crawl back into your mom's basement, and never come out again, please. How many videos does
Sleepy
this...
Dan says Ranty is deleting comments from his videos too. Ranty has always deleted comments from his videos.
Ranty hasn't been like that, right? There's different guys that are different. Ranty's not been like that in my
I got blocked by Ranty like the third time I commented on one of his videos. Like him,
right.
Nathan Thompson, and actually Sleeping Warrior, we had a pretty lengthy discussion before he blocked me, but yeah, all three of them have me blocked, and it's just like, I don't know.
The number of people that block us, right? Like, if we could see on Facebook and on YouTube the not the people that I've blocked, because there's just a few.
Right.
And most of my videos I get one or two spam accounts that are either advertising something or are a picture of a scantily clad woman. That's right. Obviously they're gonna send you over to some pay site for some scummy stuff. Those I delete. I ban them on my channel. But the only person, there's a couple. There's somebody who's got some racial comments in their name. There's somebody like Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, who's an anti-Semite. He's banned. And one guy that's just a super troll. Like, all he does is stir up mess. So that's it. I typically pre-approve comments from dissenters. They actually get put on my auto approve list.
Right.
So.
See, and that's something that I've always thought. Like, I'm not. Obviously, I've demonstrated tonight, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet. I get a lot of stuff wrong, and a lot of the time people tell me that I'm wrong. And, like, as long as you're telling me something that I can look up and verify for myself, like, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Dan. And it's only Dan. Yeah, that's right. Dan, he provided a link to exactly what he was talking about, and I actually saved that PDF because I plan to at least give it a cursory glance. I doubt I'll understand half of it, but the stuff I do understand will make me feel smart. So
apparently he has while running from this debate that he yapped about, he has done a video. So he did his whole screen. He did a screen capture of his entire screen. So if anybody wonders what his Gmail address is, it's right on the screen there.
This is awesome because I have another account.
It's how dumb can you be? Like, like you can see all of his, you can see his you can see all of his bookmarks. It says Craigslist Seattle. So yes, God's auditor, he's in Seattle.
Oof.
The SDOT
what is that
Travelers
GoFundMe?
He's got a GoFundMe that he's working on. Maybe he's working on a brain transplant so he can get a brain finally.
I'm going to look up that GoFundMe right now.
To WYGY. Well, I have his email address.
Yeah, send him the join link.
Oh, yep. Join link will be sent to him shortly. Oh, so yeah, thanks for that. Good job, doing that. So it's on his own channel. I won't put it on my channel because I'll just let him dox himself.
Yeah.
So
Come on.
oh my goodness. Good job.
Money is evil. I will agree with you on that, Multi-Tom. Money is evil.
I believe it's more the love of money would be what we would want to be focusing on. But that's what I say. All right. It has been sent. And let's see. I don't know what... I mean, it's 11 minutes. Is he rambling for 11 minutes? I think, yeah. It looks like he's going to show us in real time how he deletes comments and yeah. It's all of his notifications. Oh, dude. You're the one, the better, the ready.
Like, this is honestly amazing.
Oh, this is great. I hope everybody at home is watching this. I'll put the link to that particular video right there, everybody. And so I'm just kind of clicking through. I'm not listening to. I don't need to hear him yet. But oh my goodness, he's saying he did his homework.
He says if you would have had the globe, just move slightly to the left there, Toon. Oh yeah.
And I've got two more. That one there, and then that little. I got 4 in here, 4 globes. So I've got them all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got it.
Globes on globes on globes, bro.
Whoo! So such brave. So
such brave.
Ooh, little Wolf AK Wolf AK 82 says Jord has amazing hair.
Thank you.
You've got a fan.
Wolf.
You've got a fan.
Everybody has been telling me to cut it, and I will not cut it until it touches my butt.
So yeah, it looks like he wrote a little novel. On maybe it's on my thread. So
yeah, I was gonna say, did he respond to you? Because I'm not actually seeing your comment on.
He went to Sean Hawkins' channel because Sean Hawkins, thank you very much, commented.
Oh God.
So yeah, I did send him a link. He's got the link. It did not bounce, and Google bounces if you get the wrong address. So I got the correct address. So I know. Punchy, is that the small one I had at work? It is. It is the little. It's a levitating one. It uses a magnet to suspend it. Oh, poor Ryan. He gets debunked and then cries about it for 11 minutes, it looks like, and then deletes everybody's comment. So I stay treaty, remember, I did my homework. So all right, so I'm gonna look up to see if it's on my. I mean, maybe he commented and then deleted it. That'd be funny. Oh, that's not the
Punchy, your hair's just past your shoulders. It needs to grow 20 inches longer.
So
I think every person should have long hair, honestly. If not for the satisfaction of whipping it when you turn and walk away from somebody.
It's for headbanging.
Gotta go, guys. Someone's at the door.
It's mute yourself so that the dog barking. Long hair's for headbanging, right? Right, Dan?
Yeah.
I
think so.
That
was kind of. I thought it was kind of humorous there that the dog started barking as soon as he whipped his head around.
Yeah. There it is. Okay. I'm
amazed at how funny tonight was. I came on here expecting we'd have a serious time, and we've had a lot of laughs here.
Yeah, I mean, That's all flat Earth is. It's not serious, right? There's never a flat Earth debate because no flat earthers have ever brought evidence. So, Eileen Dover sent Ryan the link to the solar eclipse model, which I'm sure he promptly deleted. Yep. And let's see, Little Wolf AK82 said yes, headbanging. So let's see, where is...
Yeah, in fact, I think there's a lot of people that sort of enjoy participating in the debate just to find out what outrageous thing flat earthers are going to say next.
Yeah.
You know, they know they're going to say something that is ridiculous, and they just, it's just entertainment, and it's just, okay, let's tune in to find out what kind of funny thing they're going to say next.
Yeah, it is the one thing about it is that if you think about this, hold on, I'm going to see if his comment was auto held by Facebook. So all right, I gotta approve these, approve that. Keith Shipley, man, he was busy commenting, and Facebook auto blocked them all. So there we go, I approved them all. The challenge of flat earth debate is that flat earthers can just make up whatever crap they want, and there's no ramifications if they're wrong, right? Because they're already wrong. So they can just make any claims that they want. They can say it goes due to perspective or angular compression or diffraction or whatever they want. They can make up whatever crap they want, and they have no responsibility to be right about it. But when I say,
they won't remember it tomorrow.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the stuff is vague anyway. They're like, the sun goes down due to perspective. Okay, show me the math. Well, math is fake. No. But you know, they don't have any responsibility to actually back up what they say. But when I say, well, no, it doesn't go down due to perspective, and you can do the math, well, guess what? I need to go do the math. I need to be able to do that. So, yeah, my wife, I'm sitting here today, and I had some papers sitting out, and my wife hands me this, and she's like, you got to take care of this, and you can't put it on top of the books over on the counter here. So, you know, yep, can't, yep, all right, I can only show you the one, but anyway, so yeah, that was a triangulation of the height of the sun. So yeah, you got to do the math. So if you're like, well, the eclipse is predicted using the ELP 2000 model, I had to read that, at least part of it, so I had an understanding of it. And I don't, Dan, you've probably, you know, I got it from Dan, the reference, and so, like, I don't know if you've read how much of it you've read, but it's involved.
Yeah. Yes. You're talking about a multi-part, like a 9-part differential equation that cannot be solved. So with traditional means, the only way to solve it is to use an infinite series, which is kind of complicated. In fact, we sort of know that we'll get, like when we were talking earlier about the fact that it only uses the Newtonian model for gravity. One of the reasons they've never gone to a more accurate model for relativity is because, well, they just really can't afford to complicate it even worse than it already is. Because it's what you've got right now is already a mess. So it's very difficult to try to, you know, the mathematics to what we have now is difficult. You know, trying to account for relativity would be darn near impossible.
Well, it's more complicated, and I don't know if impossible is right, but it's a lot more work for a small amount of benefit.
Right.
So my little, I keep a blanket on the chair as a little pad because it's a wooden chair. If you can see it, you can't really see it. Anyway, so it's all crunched up. So yeah, here's my math book from college. This is my engineering math book, right? Advanced Engineering Mathematics. Look how thick that damn thing is, right? That's 1 year of math. That wasn't like the math book I used through college. Just 1 year of math. It's a lot of stuff you cover. And like you, I studied electrical engineering, and I've not used it as a in my career. I've been a software engineer, and the most recent stuff I've done for quite a while has been email software. There's not a whole lot of differential equations when you're doing email software.
Yeah, I went to the dark side too. And it ended up doing software instead of
Okay.
So
Factard, there has to be some repeat equations in there. Yeah. So anyway, this is so much. I mean, so much fun. So many good times in this book here. Yeah. But so you plug in these numbers and you could get more accurate if you wanted, but yeah, it's no joke. Somebody did, and it works. And for a dingaling like Ryan Wyrick, who doesn't understand anything, probably did not take any college classes, and if he did, certainly did not take any STEM college classes, to come along and say that he knows more than the people that have actually done the math is not just pompous. I don't know what word is right for that, right? But
Dunning-Kruger is the only word.
Yeah,
for that.
I know that is the correct.
Or Riley Nodell effect.
I got my mug.
And the interesting thing is I kind of explored what would it take to try to build a mathematical model on a flat Earth of the movement of the sun and the moon, and could you actually get one that works?
Well, you could start, but real quick you find out it doesn't work.
Well, where it really fails is the distance from Earth to the sun or Earth to the moon. That's where it really fails, because you could model the longitude and latitude of the sun and the moon empirically and probably get halfway decent results based on a cylindrical coordinate system, and you could probably represent the movement of the sun reasonably easy with just a sine wave. But where it's really going to break down and where you're just simply not going to be able to get it to work is that no matter what distance you pick between Earth and the sun or Earth and the moon, it's not going to work. You could probably get real close. You could probably develop some empirical formulas for the latitude and longitude of the sun and the moon that will work as good as maybe Ptolemy's formulas. You could probably get Ptolemy level of accuracy by just asking yourself, well, how long does it take for the sun to go around? And you got a little bit more of a complication with the moon, because if you took that elliptical orbit and just tried to recover a revolution of the moon through observed data points, it's not going to come out exact. So if you try to map it into a circle, you could probably still approximate it pretty closely. Probably as good as Ptolemy did with his formulas, which weren't bad. It took 1,500 years for somebody to improve on what he did. So you could get that level of accuracy, but it's just going to break down when it comes to the distances, and you just can't make any distance work.
So all of the flat Earth, sun and moon type things explained, they basically take the flat Earth, the AE map, and then they show the subsolar point. They put the sun above the subsolar point, like that's how it works. But they never add in, other things to it, like the angle of it. But here is Eileen Dover, Ben's brother, or Ben's sister, has this posted. Put the link to that video that we went over. That's funny. The shadow goes the right way. Where did you go? Where did you go? Why did you run from MC Toon? You got destroyed in his absence. And then Glober Mom says MC Toon has been waiting for you. So thank you to Eileen and Glober Mom and whoever else did that and promptly got deleted because Ryan is so brave. So very brave. So yeah, and nothing let's see, no email back from him, and he hasn't popped in to the chat here. So, what's up with that? That I was thinking about it today. Go ahead, Jordan.
Go ahead.
No.
Oh, I was just gonna say, someone who's not blocked, go in to one of his videos and just drop the link to this stream in there, because he showed the video, which is weird. He showed the one with me versus Simon, but not this video, which just kind of weirds me out.
Yeah, he did it. He did it while this video is happening. So silly. So yeah, all right. So here's what I was thinking about today. Jordan, you're not on screen again, but I was thinking today about...
Yeah, that's on purpose. Sorry.
Okay, about the trend, just the thing about how many flat earthers and generally conspiracy theorists, how prone they are to blocking. It's not just flat earthers. I've gotten blocked by anti-5G people, all of the anti-5G people. The anti-5G Facebook groups kick me out. And if you know me, I'm not in there swearing and I'm not in there insulting people. I'm typically sharing information and asking them for information. There, when people's like, 5G is 60 gigahertz. Like, oh, well, where did you see that? Well, look it up yourself. Block. So chemtrail people on Twitter, they're like posting the same thing that all chemtrail people do is they just put video of the sky. They're like, oh, they're spraying us. And I go, oh, what do you? They're like, we're researching. Like, what are you researching? What's your hypothesis? Blocked. It's this protection mechanism. It's a psychological thing, right? That they can't have their thing challenged, because as soon as it's challenged and they don't have an answer to it, then they're screwed. Right? They instantly lose, and they don't have an answer to it. Like everything on the globe, there's an answer. There's never a problem. There's never any flat earther that's pointed out something that did not actually work. They've pointed out things that they don't understand, but never something that didn't actually work. So I've never felt the need to block somebody because of that. I can always just give the answer. So it's a psychological thing. I suppose people that study psychology could have some fun with that. So,
all right, sorry, I'm back. Is this a first in MC Toon history? Because I've watched many of your streams. I can't say I've watched all of them, but I've never seen somebody actively post a comment where they're deleting comments. Actively post a video where they're deleting comments, calling him out for skipping a debate. Like, I've never seen this before. I want to know how his mind works to where he thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, he probably, it's the same thing, right? He can't allow his It's a religion. He can't allow that religion to be challenged with actual like facts and science and evidence. So it's a protection mechanism, right? So is Joey?
I think it's more of an emotional thing, because if you think about it logically, it makes more sense for him to come on this show than to skip the debate. Because when you think about the effect on your audience, okay, we went on discussing this topic. He's not here to present his side. So he got trounced, and, he's not even here to present his view on things, which we know is just going to be bad. But nevertheless, it would still be better for him to come on here and present his case than to not come on here at all. But I think that it's more, he's operating out of emotion. He's operating out of his inability to emotionally handle the situation. Is what the whole deal is. And I think this is a trend. I think one of the things I've noticed is that flat earthers, they tend to operate very emotionally and not very logically at all. I mean, you see that when you see them debate online, they like to post all these emotional GIFs instead of actually responding with some sort of piece of logic, or they will hit the laugh button because they can't think what to say. But it's very, they're just very emotionally based, and I think it's more about their fear of facing the situation than anything else, because it makes no sense to just chicken out. I mean, you might as well come on here and lose the debate, because let's say you win, let's say you're going to score a debate. If you win, say 30% of the points and you lose 70%, that's better than not coming on and having the score be 100-0. Yeah. So
I mean, unless you come on and the score is still 100-0, so often in flat Earth debates.
That is true.
I mean, that is true. That's what it was going to be, right? His only thing that he has is his misunderstanding of the tiny little bit of understanding that he has about how the eclipse, the direction of the eclipse works. That's all he has, and he can't put mathematical predictions to it. He can't look at the ELP 2000 numbers. He probably doesn't know which way the moon rotates around the Earth, right?
Right.
Probably none of that actually does he understand. And so he can't back that up. It's the same thing. Like, I'll ask people, can you tell me the angle of the sunrise from Sydney, Australia on December 20th? They're like, the flat Earth map is proven. Then do that. That would be easy. That would be not hard to do. And because it's two-dimensional, it's not even difficult like on a globe. It's much harder because it's spherical. You need to use different math, much harder math. But no, he doesn't. They never do that. And I know why, because as soon as you try, you're like, crap, it doesn't work. It's way off. And so like you had said, like, who uses the AE map? I think there's an evolution to the mind of a flat earther. They watch Dubé's video. That's step one. They see all those things and they don't know how to research and they don't know how to refute those things. When I watched it, I'm like, I can refute every one of them, or I'll just go look it up and, it doesn't seem right. Let me go test the math. I'll do the math. It was easy for me, but they don't, right? But then what happens is you get into it and you start doing things and you're like, Dubé just uses the AE map and he does all the same nonsense. But then once they get into it, they're like, oh, that map doesn't work. And they're like, oh, the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. And they're like, oh, things do get obstructed bottom up. And they find all these things, but they still hold on to flat Earth. So it's like those things that first got them in are now gone. They don't have them anymore, but they still hold the religion that the Earth is flat. And then they get to, a lot of them get to where, like Austin Whitsitt is. He's like, I don't need to have a model. Or I think Multi Tom Tom was saying that. I don't need to have a map or a model. I just need to disprove the globe.
Which, I mean, if you could, that'd be a good start, but you still haven't proven it's flat.
Yeah, so there's 2 points. There's two hops in that, right? There's disprove the globe. Go ahead, try. Second, claiming that it's flat, there are ramifications. As soon as you say that, you have a model.
Right.
Everything then needs to be explained. You have to produce. You can't just say it's flat, because you have to have a map. You have to have an explanation for the sunrise and sunset. You have to have a predictable model for things getting obstructed bottom up. You have to have a reason why there is spherical excess in triangles when they're measured. You have to have a replacement for gravity. All these things instantly you have to have. If all you do is say it's not a globe, then you can. Yeah.
Sorry. Joey Rocha is in the chat saying, MC Toon, you're the best globe prover on the internet. You are doing great work for everybody, and he loves you. That's Joey Rocha in the side chat.
Thanks, Joey. Round Thinker says this is no show number what exactly? Yeah, I don't know. I've not been tracking. And I don't know if any of you know Round Thinker. I won't release anything, but he has had some sad events happen and tough just for me to hear. So
much love going your way, bud.
Well, you know, one thing that I find intriguing is that when they try to disprove the globe, what they do is they do bad math. You know, they like to use their 8-inch formula, and then they don't realize why that's off. But they do bad math, and then the math doesn't work. And they think that they have disproven the globe because the math fails. But if you can't use the math to prove flat Earth, then the only thing you've proven is that you can't get the math for either model to work right. So basically what you've proven is your incompetency at math. Mm-hmm. You know, you haven't disproven the globe, you haven't proven flat Earth either. Because if you can't get the math to the globe to work right, then how do we know that's because the globe doesn't work or because you're not using the right math? You know, and basically in virtually every case where they can't get the math to work, they're not using what scientists describe as the correct math, because they almost always use either that 8-inch rule, which we know is wrong, or every now and then they'll use they'll pull up a curve calculator. They won't admit they're not using the 8-inch rule. You know, they'll pull it up as a curve calculator in order to hide how they're doing the calculations. But then they'll ignore elevation, or they'll say, "Oh well, you know, it looked like 6 feet above sea level to me."
Yeah, they get the distance wrong. They get the elevation wrong. They use a curve calculator that does not take refraction into account. Right. There's just this list of all the things. They're like, you don't need to do that. Like, yes, you do. Science is very particular. You need to do those things.
You need to, like, in any experiment or situation, if you're trying to use something as evidence, you need to have, like, all of the details up front so that evidence can be examined and possibly recreated. Like, if I post a picture of my dog from 2 miles away and I'm holding a ruler up to him and I'm like, look guys, he's less than 1 inch tall, you know, but how far away from your dog were you? How far, you know, like you can use perspective and a lot of things to, you know, fool the eye. So that's why you need to have all of those. Again, I'm horrible at explaining what I'm trying to say, but I think people who are as bad at math and science as I am understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, even people without a strong math and science background can see that the Earth is a sphere. So Lael is here for $5, says, I love this. I want Multi-Tom-Tom to drive to location, say 400 miles away from his location without a map or GPS and see if he doesn't get lost. I think Lael is here is just trying to get multi-tom-tom lost, so he can't find his way
Get
back
him
to
away from his computer.
from his mom's basement. So Joey was making some comments on topics that I don't cover here. So Joey, two topics that you can come on here to talk about: flat Earth or 5G. And I would love to have you come on about 5G because I think it would be hilarious. So,
what about evolution?
I don't debate evolution, but I'll host an evolution debate.
Yeah,
but Joey is not qualified to even begin a conversation on that. So I would not.
Neither am I.
No, you are way more qualified than Joey.
I mean, being more qualified than Joey Rocha is a short bar to clear. So,
let's see. BT Toast says, instead of measure twice, cut once, it's how do I turn this saw on? Yeah, that is the flat Earth.
And they're holding a I want to call it an analog saw, but I know that's not
hand saw.
Hand saw, that's it. God, this is what the digital age does to a young mind.
Yes, and I like to say people when I'm building things, if people have never built things with me, I mess with them. Be like, I've measured. I always, you got to measure once and cut twice, Right. And they miss that usually. And then I say, oh man, I've cut this 3 times and it's still too short.
Oh, that's great. That reminds me of the blinker fluid.
Yep, blinker fluid, the muffler belt. You need to get tighten the muffler belt.
I've not heard the muffler belt. I would probably get got with the muffler belt.
Yeah, multi-tom-tom. While we were talking about, if you say it's flat, then you have a model. He goes, it's flat. That's all he's got.
I mean, cool. How?
Yeah. Describe give us a predictive model for the downward accelerating force. You can't. I'll give you $10,000 if you can, multi-tom-tom, if you can predict it. I have a challenge. I still need to all I need to do is make that link active and put it on my website. So
can you make a challenge to disprove flat Earth so I can get $10,000, please?
It's no. Lots of flat earthers have done that. Just go and try to get them to pay up.
Yeah, but
like Flat Earth Millionaire, his double $100,000 challenge. He's the sole judge and he just says nuh-uh. Or Flat Out Hero, who's the sole judge and he just says nuh-uh.
Or the are you muted? I didn't.
Me?
Oh no, sorry.
No.
I was actually looking at the stream, and you were still talking on the stream, and I got confused.
Oh,
sorry. But yeah. And that's the thing with my problem with Flat Earth Millionaire is, bro, you have the capital, you have the resources to go out and do tests that I would die to be a part of, and aren't there high altitude flights that civilians can take that you can see the curve of the earth, and there's so much you could do to prove it to yourself. The fact that you don't is evidence enough for me to not believe anything you say.
Yeah. Now here, of course, we talked about this last night. If Flat Earth Millionaire did that, went up in a plane, said, I see the curve, what would the rest of the Flat Earth community say?
Call him a shill.
They'd call him a shill, of course.
Yeah. They'd say that the only reason he had the $1 million in the first place was to get people on his side and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
become a Flat Earth millionaire conspiracy theory, just like Patricia Steer, just like Simon Dan, just like Mark Sargent.
Yeah. So Round Thinker just reminded me that the equinox is coming up next Wednesday. So I will be measuring again at local solar noon. That same thing I did, and I brought it up earlier in here. It's on my website. December solstice measurements. I did not yet post the June the June solstice measurements. I did take them. The March one was too cloudy, and I'm hoping I can get it next week. So if anybody wants to, I would love to get as many data points as possible. It's not hard. You get a stick, get it as vertical as you can, and you look up when local solar noon is using suncalc.org, and it'll tell you it's between 12 and 2 depending on your time zone and things like that. And then you put that down there. You start 10-20 minutes before, and you draw a line on the ground, and every couple minutes you draw another line on the ground. And then when you get to the shortest line, right, and then it starts to get longer again, now you know the shortest. So from the base of the stick to there, and then the height of the stick. That's all you need. And Round Thinker handled all of the spreadsheet last time, and so he finished. He did 3. Round Thinker, would you do another one? I'd love that if you would to compile that data. But yeah. Do that next Wednesday. Punchy even did it in March, I believe, because he had clear skies. So there it is. I'll remind you next Tuesday about it as well.
Yeah, that's actually a great measurement that shows the globe. And you know, when you were talking earlier about the flat Earth millionaire, and you know, are there things that someone can do to really prove to themselves whether Earth is flat or round? I think that if you get past the, you know, we've talked a lot tonight about the math, and to me, I think that pretty much proves it itself. Even if you don't understand the math, the fact that the science math works should be enough to tell most people that they have to have the right model. But if you really want to see it without using math, and you don't have any financial limitations, I would say that really the best way to prove it to yourself would be to just cruise around the Antarctic around Christmas time, because the simple fact of the matter is that right around the end of December, beginning of January, even most flat earthers admit that if you actually do see a 24-hour sun in the Antarctic, Earth cannot be flat. There's just no way that those two things work.
Right.
And you will see it. You will witness it yourself. The other thing, too, is that the direction you go would work, because if Earth is a globe, you would go clockwise in order to go east, and you'd go counterclockwise to go east if the Earth is actually flat. And you could use a gyroscope to figure out which direction you're going. So a trip around the Antarctic, you know, around the end of December, beginning of January, could give you 2 very conclusive proofs as to whether Earth is a globe or whether it's flat, that would prove beyond a shadow of a doubt whether you understand math or not.
Yeah, that's true.
And I haven't found a flat earther that could argue that. That's another one where they just simply cannot argue with the logic. They just go into denial. They just say, "Oh no, that 24-hour sun thing, that doesn't happen in the Antarctic." They just deny it. But if you actually go witness it yourself, I mean, you can't deny it anymore. You know.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing: a 24-hour sun in the Antarctic does not prove flat Earth or disprove flat Earth. The sunset ever from any location any day disproves flat Earth. Right? Flat Earth actually predicts that the sun would never set in the Antarctic.
That's true.
But it wouldn't do a circle around the South Pole. You would look, and it would just do this wobble back and forth from the farthest south position. So sunset at all, and it happens every day of the year, and about 8 billion people witness it. So that, and sunrise. So that's 16 billion disproofs of flat Earth every day. There you go. So this is a video playing right now of at the geographic South Pole of the sun for 5 days. It's just a time lapse. It's on Vimeo, and I'll post that there. I believe that the guy that did this, he overwinters at the South Pole pretty often.
That's awesome. Like, could you imagine not seeing nighttime for 5 days?
Well, it's at the South Pole. It's for 6 months.
Well, like, I know, but like, I couldn't imagine the sun not setting every day. You know, like,
Yeah.
I'd come out at 8 o'clock at night and I'd look out into the sky and see the sun still not in the same spot, but still up there shining bright. And we have circadian rhythm for a reason.
Yeah. Well, I went to Anchorage, Alaska last summer in July, and it was midnight. The day we got there, it's midnight, and I'm looking outside, and there's people walking around outside all over the place, and it felt like, just late afternoon. It's weird.
Yeah,
So.
and that's something that I've actually looked into a little bit, is what happens when you throw off somebody's circadian rhythm, because a lot of people don't know, in a lot of your screens broadcast blue light, and blue light is what we see in the sky, and it makes our brains think, oh, it's daytime. I need to stay awake.
Yeah, it actually suppresses the production of serotonin. Or melatonin.
Yeah, melatonin.
And when you stop seeing blue light, then
which is why if you do sleep with your phone, there is a filter that you can put on that blocks the blue light. And I promise, if you start doing that before you go to sleep, you'll sleep better every single night. I promise you.
Or just put it face down.
See, I just turn on some YouTube video and face away from the phone, but a lot of people like to actually watch.
I put Little Wolf AK82 lives in Anchorage. And hey, Team Skeptics here. How you doing, man?
Oh, we should get Team Skeptic in the Zoom meeting.
Well, we need to leave room for Ryan Wyrick, because he's not coming.
Yeah, he's not coming.
Yeah. So it was certainly weird being that far north, and it's tough in Minnesota because it gets dark at like 4 in the winter, and
right.
And in Anchorage, so like what's in December, what's it, Wolf, my goodness, where'd it go? I don't want to get your name wrong. Little Wolf, AK82. On December 20th, what's sunrise and sunset? Like, what time? You have, like, just a few hours. But that day, I'd love to see your measurements of the sun angle. So.
Yeah, that'd be actually if we could get somebody in Antarctica, which I doubt we could, but I mean, that'd be awesome if we could have one from close to the North Pole and one from close to the South Pole.
Yeah, well, once you get past the Arctic Circle or the Antarctic Circle, it's different. And I'm like, just having to explain that difference to a flat earther, because they can't deal with it, right? They already can't do the math. But then to go to them and say, well, what's the angle of the sun at local solar noon from some station on Antarctica that's inside the Antarctic Circle, that they can't handle that, right? Because the math does change. It is a different formula once you're there.
Right. And like, something that I've always wondered on a flat earth, like, when, like, I'm even having trouble to explain it, because, like, when you go southwest, that direction would inherently be different on a flat earth. You know, like I it's hard to explain, but I've somebody who's way better at explaining this stuff explained it to me, and like uh like I have, if I had a globe and a flat map on the screen, like an AE map, I don't know. It's like I said, it's hard for somebody who doesn't understand science to explain, and that's me. Well, not that I don't understand science, who doesn't have a firm grasp of science, because I understand biology fine. It's just anything that deals with numbers, it's physics, orbital mechanics, anything where I have to derive equations and no, like
so all right. Brian M. Batcher says he'd love it if he could get a debate on evolution with himself and Joey, and I know you do too. So I don't know if Joey's still here. Joey is impossible to communicate with, and it's also difficult to organize things with. He doesn't know what day anything is. He doesn't know what time zone he lives in. He doesn't know how to keep an appointment. He's never once shown up to a debate on time. But I would host either or both of those. And then Little Wolf AK82 in Anchorage says it's like 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. ish, and he'd have to look it up. Yes, you get like 5 hours of sun.
Jeez, I couldn't do it. Like, I don't go out into the sun much, but I do love like going out for nature walks and stuff. I couldn't live any place where it's not warm for extended periods of time. That's why I hate living in Ohio. I want to move back to Kentucky.
Yep. So I was in South Dakota, and the day after we left, it was 102 degrees in Rapid City. And then 2 days later, so that was Saturday last week, 2 days later on Labor Day, it snowed. Sorry, Memorial Day. South Dakota? Labor Day. Yeah, it snowed. So the guy that I flat out, I saw flat out when I was there. He not flat out hero, flat out. Flat out. So go look up flat out. He's got his shirt on upside down with his legs stuck through it, and it says "I am flat out" on his shirt. That's the flat out I'm talking about. I saw him when I was there. I went rock climbing with him. We went we jumped off a bridge into a lake. His first jump, he does a flip. He does like 2 or 3 jumps. He's in the water, coming back in. He's like, "Oh, I got my phone in my pocket." I'm like, "Dude, it's waterproof." But it tends to fall to the bottom if it comes out of your pocket. Right. Anyway, he sent me that message. He's like, "Yeah, that difference in temperature was pretty drastic." I'm like, "Yeah, I am glad to kind of have missed the cold."
You said you jumped off of a bridge into a lake.
Yeah, it's a reservoir called Pactola Reservoir or Lake or Pactola Lake. And there's a bridge going across. I believe it's the stream that feeds it, and so the bridge is maybe 10 feet above the water. So we went there and we all jumped off for a while.
Yeah, that's still 20 feet. 10 feet shorter than the highest I've ever jumped. I jumped from a rock quarry that was 25 feet tall. And I hurt myself when I landed.
Yeah, you cross your legs, guys. Cross your legs, just at your ankles before you hit the water. If you're really jumping from a height, just a little. You don't
want to cannonball. You don't want to You want to be as well. I guess you do want to cannonball, but you don't want to try to make the biggest splash you can. You're trying to just kind of slink in there. I didn't realize that, and I couldn't walk right for 3 days.
Punchy says I just spoke French. What French did I say?
Reservoir?
Is that French? Come on, that's an English word. What you talking about?
I'm pretty sure that's a French word that English people use. But...
All right. You know
It's
what?
like-
Here's the deal. And people are saying Flat Out's awesome. He is. He was great. I mean, he's a certified rock climbing guide, and he brought us to the place behind Mount Rushmore. We climbed the rocks behind Rushmore, and
where they found the lost city of gold and National Treasure too.
exactly, that's where we stopped by there too. So, am I close to French Canada, Microraptor? No, I've never been to French Canada. Let's see. I'm gonna get Flat Out's channel. Everybody, go watch all of his videos from the first one to the newest. Don't play his most recent first. Go to his oldest one and play that one. Sub to him and tell him, come out of retirement. You love him.
Yes.
You can't get enough. He has to come out of retirement. Tell you that when I started doing things, there's three people that I looked at. I'm like, these are the people that I want to model what I do after. And Flat Out's one of them. I'll talk about the other two some other time. Flat Out's one of them. Even though he's fake and he's mocking. He's mocking in a way that's just not that rude, right? He's not yelling and swearing and cussing, and he's not making them look too bad, right? It's ridiculous. He's taking what they do to a ridiculous level, but it is what they do. So anyway, that's about what I got going tonight. I have a few choice words to say to Ryan Wyrick, but Dan, anything you want to say before we kind of get going here?
No, I can't think of anything else that we need to add. I just want to say thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun, and I'm kind of glad we did get a chance to talk about this because, it's kind of something that has been batted back and forth a lot online, thanks to Ryan's insistence, and it's kind of cool that we finally got him to wave the white flag.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
That's just absolutely amazing.
Yep.
And Jordan, how's your video that you're working on?
Oh man, my editor actually dropped out, and now I'm trying to figure out Filmora 9 so that I can do the editing. And it's all right. It's just my brain doesn't like it. Like, it's really simple. The user interface is really simple. I just am not. I don't know what I really want to do. Like, that's my biggest issue.
Here's my advice to anybody. Like, I've been doing this for not yet 2 years, but start small. Do a small video, a short one. You won't have any people watch it hardly, so it doesn't matter, right? And if later you're like, that was stupid, you can take it down. But start small. Don't get fancy on the video editing. Just do a small video, short one, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, doesn't matter. And then do another one, and do another one, right? Just keep doing little ones, and over time, your skills in your video editing will get better. And seriously, put off the big video, the big topic. There are topics that I wanted to cover before I made my first video that I've still not done. I hopefully eventually will. So that's my advice to you, Jordan. Don't do that big video first. Do a small one. But that's my opinion on it. So thank you to Dan for coming on. Thank you for Jordan for coming on. And thank you, Ryan Wyrick, for having no courage. For waving that white flag of defeat, that you admit basically that you are wrong about the eclipse. That video that we showed was a 2-scale model of the eclipse. ELP 2000 is freely available. It's published. You can go look at it. You can do the math. I mean, you can't do the math. Silly. Sure. But yeah, you could find a flat earther that could do math. That's silly. I guess. Anyway, you could look at it. You could find somebody that does know how to do math that's not a flat earther, have them do the math and say, yeah, this works. What are you talking about? You could get Stellarium. You could get the Universe Sandbox. You could play with it that way. And find out that, Ryan Wyrick, you are wrong. The eclipse does go the correct direction. Your cowardice and your white flag waving is all we need. So thank you very much for that. You are completely irrelevant. Thank you to the super chat. People did super chats. Let me make sure. I don't want to miss any. I think I missed one from Lael is Fun that said blah 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 math blah blah blah. Thank you very much for that one. Lael is Fun. If you're interested, you can be a patron or a channel member. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you don't, give it a thumbs down, and be sure to tell me all about it in the comments. So Brian M. Batcher is a former professional video editor. Jordan, I think he just volunteered for you, being that he has an interest in evolution as well. So maybe you two want to talk to each other. So I've never messed with Universe Sandbox. So all right, that's what I got. Friday, maybe. It's a maybe now to debate on Modern Day Debates on Friday. Next week, Zachariah Edwards is quite certain. I did challenge allegedly Dave to come on Tuesday, earlier slot. I'm kind of doubting he will, but that would be great. I'm working on Flat Earth Fokker. I forgot about that. We've agreed to do a debate, and so we'll do that coming up. We'll get that scheduled. We got Jack Zong and Ben J gonna do a 5G actual research based debate. I gotta get this email signed. I gotta get this book. The guy that did that the lead author for that goofy study that claimed that human DNA can receive signals from 5G to create the coronavirus RNA strands. That guy is gonna come on, hopefully. So there you go. That's what I got. Thanks for coming, everybody, and we will see you next time. Bye.